This Racecraft TV stream is brought to you by Artesian Builds. Artesian builds high-quality custom PCs made to order for a low price. Contact Artesian Builds today to get started on your own custom PC as low as $64 a month. All Artesian builds are made live on stream. You can watch your builds and talk to the builders live at twitch.tv/Artesian Builds. For more information about Artesian Builds, check the link in the description.
Live from the virtual Las Vegas Motor Speedway here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Welcome, sim racing fans, to the NASRA Snead Competition Design Truck Series here on Racecraft TV. I'm your host Joshua Lee, joined by Austin Knight. And Austin, 2 rounds remain here in the series, and the championship is just starting to heat up in the top.
Yeah, the round of 10 has started after 2 amazing rounds earlier than this. So the round of 10 drivers now remain battling for those oh so important 4 spots that are going to be happening here in round 3 and the next round of round 4. Then we're headed to the championship 4. So the top 4 going to be advancing, but we're going to see somebody try to lock it in tonight.
6 trucks are going to be eliminated in 2 rounds here in the Snead Competition Design Truck Series. Rhett Tucker, Jason Higginbotham, Mark Truxell, Stephen Thomas, arguably the 4 most dominant drivers of the season here in the series. They're the top 4 right now. They got to defend against Dittmer, Scruggs, Lumpkin, McKinnon, and Keith Bradley behind.
Yeah, your current standings shows us in the playoffs, but they might be winning in the playoffs, but we don't know who will be winning this race so far, and that's what we're going to be finding out here today, especially in Vegas. So let's go out on track and see who is qualifying.
Tyler Daniels looks like he is on the racetrack for a lap, coming off of turn number 4, down into the tri-oval, using all the real estate down there on the bottom on the apron to try and get the best time. It's going to be a 31.108 for his first time, and he's going to have one more to try and get ahead of it. And it looks like he might have just abandoned that lap, or that first lap didn't count. So he's going to move down onto the apron. That's going to be it for him. Rhett Tucker just put in another lap, a 31.002, his best lap of the session. Chris Cinnamon currently sitting in 4th with a 31.028 after his laps are over.
Tyler Dittmer coming across the line, putting in his first lap, sits at 11th right now. He has one more lap to go. Another driver who's just starting out, Cody Knott, that 26. He's coming across the line. Cody jumps up to 14th. Back to the
definitely seen in this series that with the stages and with the carnage that we're usually seeing, especially early on, qualifying doesn't mean an entire lot in this series as Dittmer goes P5.
And Tyler Dittmer, great improvement on his second lap. So we're looking at Robert Richards in that 48.
Using that Silverado down the back straightaway into turn 3. Not going to get all the way down on the apron. Going to stay about middle to top groove. Going all the way up to the wall, trying to slingshot his way down the front straightaway.
Drops down all the way to the travel. Comes across the line. That is his first lap. Puts him up into 12th place. And I think we're going to be seeing a more aggressive second lap for Robert right here. Holding down all the way to the apron of the track. Shooting all the way up to the needle straightaway, then back all the way down, not using that top line. And this is a quick one for Richards.
He'll come out of the front straightaway, put the lap to bed. Where will he sit on the standings? He goes from 13th up to 5th with a 31.043, and Lumpkin gonna go up to 9th in the 31.067.
Yeah, that was his first lap too. And in his first lap, he put in a purple sector 2. Justin Lumpkin in that Venom-inspired helmet, definitely looking like he's got some venom flowing through his veins as he heads. Let's see if he can get pulled this time by. Truxell goes fourth. Here comes Lumpkin across the line. Lumpkin goes fifth.
Mark Truxell with a great lap puts him up into fourth. Lumpkin will take over P5. Those familiar names up at the top, but a couple that we've haven't really been talking about this season. Stephen Gregory in the 97 currently sits on the pole, and the other driver to get under a 31-second lap time is Michael McKinnon. Two very unfamiliar faces at the top. We, of course, know Michael, obviously, one of the admins of the series. He runs every single week, but seeing him up front and out qualifying a lot of the championship favorites is a bit of a shock.
It is. Stephen Gregory, new name to the series in that Toyota Tundra, put in a stellar lap time, and well, he's currently sitting in pole position. Joey Duchette sits in 21st after his first lap. Also coming across the line is Dustin Scruggs. He's going to put in his first time all the way onto the tri-oval.
Scruggs on the outside looking in as far as the playoffs go. Needs a good night here to get into the top four. And this is going to be a good start to the evening if he can get a good qualifying time down. 31.369. His first time as Joey Duquette goes up to fifth.
What a lap by Joey. Dustin Scruggs is out right behind him. He's going to come across the line. There he goes. Dustin Scruggs, purple all the way around, takes pole position.
What a run from Dustin Scruggs, a 39.954. That is 4/100ths of a second faster than Gregory's time.
The last car to put in a lap is the first car started out of the pits. Dustin Scruggs definitely needs a win here to lock himself into that championship form, since he is near the back end of the championship standings. And so that number 11 Rhett Tucker racing car, woo, he's flying around here.
Great lap for Scruggs, and you can hear it over the iRacing voice chat. We got one ear for that, and they're all congratulating Dustin, saying that he's bringing it now, that it's going to be coming down to the points. And right now he is a 3-point separating him and Stephen Thomas, who is currently in fourth. That is where he needs to be, but a win gets you locked into the next round. So if Scruggs can keep it up tonight, he might be a spoiler for those top four that are looking for a walk-off into the final round.
Yeah, bringing up the championship standings again. Dustin Scruggs just a few points behind Stephen Thomas, and he's currently sitting in 6th place, kind of middle of the pack. He's actually in a tie, actually, but as the pace car comes up, let's bring up our starting grid.
Dustin Scruggs with a great qualifying time will lead the field to the green flag. Stephen Gregory in second. Row 2 has Michael McKinnon and Rhett Tucker. Row 3, Mark Truxell, Joey Duquette. Row 4, Zach Adams, Justin Lumpkin, and Chris Cinnamon and Keith Bradley. Round out your top 10 in row 5. Robert Richards, Tyler Dittmer, row 6. Row 7, Stephen Thomas, Clinton Castleberry. Row 8, Tyler Peacock, Jonathan Munda. Row 9, Lance Miller, Tyler Daniels. Rounding out your top 20, Ben Ganowski and Scott Osment, with Jason Higginbotham and Cody Knott rounding out row 11. And rounding out the field in 23rd, row 12, will be Brandon Bullock. 23 cars ready to take the green flag, and Dustin Scruggs will lead them to the green behind that iRacing.com pace car. Austin, any predictions for tonight? Obviously, we know who's at the top of the standings. We know who's always fast, but unfamiliar names up front. Are you expecting a spoiler winner?
I'm going to say Joey Duchette in that 27, or Stephen Gregory. I feel like some of the drivers that are making their presence known here, but aren't in the playoffs, are going to be making a bit of an upset here today.
Fresh faces can be deceiving, and they can grab the win here today. Looking for upsets as Tucker, Higginbotham, Truxell, and Thomas are all in that top 4. Rhett Tucker leagues ahead of anybody else in the playoffs right now. A 31-point gap between him and Higginbotham in second. So Rhett Tucker looking for a walk-off into the final round. If he wins here, he's automatically locked in. Doesn't have to do any math. He knows that he is in. Same thing with anybody else currently in that top 10 in the points. But if you do not get a win here or in the next round, you're going to have to get in on points. And Austin, nobody wants to rely on the math. They know that if they get that checkered flag tonight, they're in and they don't have to worry.
Yeah, he definitely never wanted to rely on the math, especially with how many stuff that could go wrong in upcoming races. So everyone's going for that win. And, well, we got a few ringers in the field up there, but most of the people in the top 10, there's only 3 drivers that are not in the playoffs in the top 10. And those are Gregory, Duchette, and Adams.
And that is going to be the huge telltale sign tonight is will those new faces up front and will those non-playoff drivers really show up and kind of put, you know, all the playoff drivers to bed, because if they get a win here, that is denying playoff drivers potential points and the potential of a walk-off into the final round. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with those non-playoff drivers up front. But we know that they're in the playoffs for a reason. They are fast, and we're going to see them all go up front as quickly as they can. The iRacing.com Ford Mustang pace car ready to pull down into pit road. The field 2 by 2 through turn 4. The pace car will go down into the safety of the pit lane. Field in control of the 11 at Dustin Scruggs. It's time to go racing here in the round of 10. 2 rounds to decide the final 4. Let's go racing. We're green from Vegas.
Great start by Scruggs. Looking back at the rest of the field. Michael McKinnon getting his nose in there, jumping up into second place side by side with Gregory as they head into turn 1. Rhett Tucker on that outside lane, just staying behind Gregory. And on that bottom lane, I see Mark Truxell making his way up the field. He sits in third.
Rhett Tucker does not like that outside line. He already tried to make a 3-wide move right off the green flag. McKinnon up to second. Here comes Mark Truxell for third. Tucker trying to get down. McKinnon's loose.
Tucker's in there. McKinnon's in there. Truxell and Tucker get into each other. Tucker spinning off to the inside. Taylor Peacock as well is involved. Massive hit. Massive crash at the start of the race. And this is big news for Mark Truxell, Chris Cinnamon, Michael McKinnon. 4 playoff drivers involved in that crash, and guess what? No fast repairs.
This could spell trouble for those drivers up front. Tucker and Truxell first and third in the points, and now they may be dropping out of the top 4.
My goodness, that was crazy. It all started with Michael McKinnon getting a little bit loose, and then all the playoff drivers, so many playoff drivers getting involved in an incident. And oh my goodness. Robert Richards and Stephen Thomas also were involved. Richards blew an engine. Stephen Thomas, a playoff driver as well. He's in the pits. He got a nice heck of a nose damage. Let's ride on board with Stephen Thomas. Oh, he thought he got it. It just clipped McKinnon right there. So a little damage for Stephen Thomas, but as we go back live, this playoff field is on its roof.
Tucker, Truxell, both in pit roads. Cinnamon, Higginbotham, McKinnon, all playoff drivers. I'm counting 5 playoff drivers currently in the pits trying to get damage repaired. McKinnon, Tucker, Truxell, Cinnamon, Duquette, and Richards, the only 2 non-playoff drivers in pit road currently. And up front, it's Dustin Scruggs still leading the way. Of course, Stephen Gregory, brand new face, sitting in second. But Austin, just so many storylines now that are kind of thrown out the window, and a couple new ones we're starting to write, as we're going to see possibly a non-playoff driver go to victory lane and possibly a playoff driver that we weren't expecting to go to victory lane.
Well, It's Vegas, and you know the odds are sometimes in your favor. The odds are sometimes never in your favor. In this case, if you were one of the favorite drivers, the odds were not with you today. And for the drivers that are in pit road right now, we have our driver minimap up there. If you see a yellow dot, that means that they are a playoff driver, and they're just getting ahead out of the pit road as the field passes them. But I say for those drivers that were just in that incident, it's all about damage mitigation. It's all about trying to get as far as you can, even with damage, because you got to save those points. And with a damaged car, it's going to be very hard to do that with. But Dustin Scruggs, Justin Lumpkin, Keith Bradley, and Tyler Dittmer are the top 4 playoff drivers right now.
And Chris Cinnamon is still in pit road getting damage repaired. 2 points. He came into tonight behind the cut line for the top 4. Cinnamon's going to be in a must-win situation as we head into the next round. As they're back 2x2 down the back straightaway heading into turn 3. Base car will pull back into pit lane. We'll be back under the green flag. But up front, it's Dustin Scruggs still leading the way. He is a playoff driver that we have been watching since he qualified on the pole, and there's still a lot of racing left to go just here in stage number 1. Still 31 laps to go when they go back to racing. It's going to be so intense to see who of the playoff drivers can rise to the occasion, with a lot of them sitting damaged either in pit road or in the back of the field. What are the other playoff drivers going to do as we're back green?
Green, 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 and the pedal to the metal. Let's go back racing onto the gas as Scruggs makes a rocket start, getting a good gap to Stephen Gregory right behind. So we see Justin Lumpkin sits in third, and on his inside, here comes Keith Bradley. And that's Chris Cinnamon at the bottom of the track. And now he moves to the top of the track.
The 71 of Zach Adams all over the bumper. The 18 of Keith Bradley right now. They go single file. Cinnamon going to let everybody by on the bottom. You can see him all the way up, hugging that outside wall. Bradley currently in the 4th position, trying to hold on. The 27 of Joey Duquette on the outside, also going to let the field go by.
Bradley looking for that outside leg, getting some draft from Stephen Gregory. Lumpkin holding out on that inside line. Bradley going to stay up high. And all 3 of these drivers up here, well, 4 of these drivers are all fighting for something. Dustin Scruggs fighting for that lock-in. Stephen Gregory is showing the field what he's got. Justin Lumpkin also fighting for that lock-in. And Keith Bradley also fighting for that lock-in.
Keith Bradley coming into tonight is 10th in points. He is the last of the top 10.
He needs this
in
win.
This round. He needs a win, and he also needs to prove that he belongs in the playoffs. It's one thing to make it through the first round. It's an entirely another thing to qualify for the championship.
Only 4 drivers can fight it out in that final round, and Keith Bradley definitely showing everybody that he belongs in that championship 4. Goes down to the inside of Lumpkin.
Bradley trying to get up to 3rd, and he can see the 2 leaders battling it out. That's Gregory and Scruggs. Gregory going to go down to the inside. They're 2x2, 3 rows deep into 1. We're into turn 3. There's still 2x2, 3 rows.
Vegas providing this amazing race down to the inside. The 97 takes the lead. Stephen Gregory leads this race, and here comes Keith Bradley down low.
Bradley saw an opportunity, and he's going to take it. Scruggs up top. Now Keith Bradley fighting for 2nd. He's going to get the nose out there. He's going to clear the 11 of Dustin Scruggs. Now what does he have for Stephen Gregory? He's going to the inside.
Bradley, Gregory, side by side, heading into turn 3, heading in for the lead. As they battle out, it looks like Gregory didn't have the best of it looks like Keith Bradley didn't have the best of exits mid-corner. And it's going to be Gregory leading that lap on the outside, almost getting into contact off the tri-oval.
They're still 2x2 trying to settle out these positions. Tyler Dittmer now in the 4 car. He is in 4th, 2nd on the inside line. I believe that's Clinton Castleberry in the 21 also coming up into this fight.
That is Clinton Castleberry. He's sitting in that middle line, just kind of between that low and middle line, so it's a lowish mid line. But that 21 Clinton Castleberry currently sitting in 5th. As Bradley and Gregory continue to race 2 by 2. Ooh, Bradley got onto the apron just a little bit, gets shot up the track, almost into Gregory. That promotes Gregory up into the lead. And look out at that number 4, Tyler Dittmer, being a dark horse in the situation. They almost go 3 wide heading into 3.
Gregory now assuming the lead. Keith Bradley in 2nd. He is clear of everybody behind him, so he can focus up on Gregory now. But here comes Dittmer, side by side with Scruggs. Dustin Scruggs now trying to hold on to whatever lead he had, as he is now side by side for 3rd. Now he's going to go into 4th as Dittmer clears.
Dittmer has got a great run going, as well as Bradley. Bradley goes down to the inside after getting a good draft down the back straight. Slings it down into turn 3. Bradley and Gregory once again continue their 2 by 2 battle for the lead. And Keith Bradley is going to be in the lead by a nose.
He just barely got that nose out there, but he's going to assume the lead. Can he clear Stephen Gregory? He had issue with this when he got the lead for the first time. He wasn't able to clear him, and the 97 came back and took the lead back. Will Keith Bradley be able to clear him? They're going back into turn 3. This is where he really needs to stick it down low.
Needs to stick it down low, but 13 laps into this race, who's got the better tire wear so far? And it's nighttime, though, so it's not going to be that much of a difference. Gregory is going to get him on the outside this time.
Is Dittmer trying to make it 3 wide? He looked to the inside. He's going to lose that momentum as Keith Bradley shut the door. But Dittmer's not messing around. He's here to play. He's 6th in the points.
Castleberry swinging around the outside of that entire pack. Castleberry sits at 3rd. Here goes Castleberry for 2nd, round the outside.
Castleberry making that outside line work right now, but it's still Stephen Gregory out front.
Stephen Gregory defending that lead, as I feel like that outside line is now going to start forming up. Maybe that middle line. Right where that crease is. Bradley goes up for the block.
Looks like the tire wear is starting to finally affect some of these trucks as Dittmer goes to the inside of Castleberry for 3rd. Keith Bradley trying to cover those trucks behind him to make sure he can keep on to 2nd. Here comes the 71 of Zach Adams. He's also up in this fight as Scruggs has went from the lead to 6th.
Dustin Scruggs' pace has fallen off right here as him and Lumpkin almost get into each other.
Now everybody's starting to move their line up to the top. Everybody running about a lane up from the bottom. Stephen Gregory followed by Keith Bradley, then Clinton Castleberry all ran that line. Pretty much just following the leader right now. As you can see, Gregory doing it again, running a little bit up from the bottom. As there's that tire wear we've been discussing. It's starting to affect some of these drivers.
That tire wear kicks in around here. I know in the Indy cars, it's a massive hit. These truck cars, not so much. Here goes Bradley down low on Gregory. Bradley sent it into turn 1. Gregory, though, just carries it through the corner and is just so smooth on the throttle. Get past there. Lumpkin got into the wall, shot up some sparks.
He just hasn't been able to hold it on the inside as Gregory's going to go way up the track. Bradley's still on the inside fighting, but he's not going to get him. He'll get him at the line, but he's not clearing him, and that's what he needs to do to take the lead fully. He might have it this time. So close. He's going to clear him.
Castleberry. Castleberry helped him out right there. Keith Bradley leads this race, but here comes Gregory off the exit. Gregory shoots down low. The tables have turned. Bradley on the outside. Gregory onto the inside.
Stephen Gregory with the switchback as he uses the inside. Bradley trying to get a run around the outside. He's going to get it.
That outside line is so fast. And I think that confirmed Gregory's suspicions that, and he and Dittmer get into each other.
Dittmer's still up here in this fight, and Stephen Gregory now forced down low all the way to the bottom. He can't do that on his tires. He's going to go down to 4th.
Almost getting into the wall with Zach Adams. He's all over the track, almost getting into Castleberry down low.
Now here comes Dittmer and Lumpkin. They're now going to try and challenge for the lead with Keith Bradley. It's a 3-car breakaway ahead of the field behind.
Dittmer.
Now here goes Dittmer to the inside. He's got help from Justin Lumpkin.
The speed of Dittmer on the straight is cleared past Bradley, and they're going to go side by side. Bradley trying to swing that thing around the outside, using the tires to his advantage, and he's got it right there. And here comes Lumpkin, but Dittmer not giving up just yet, sends it into turn 3. Lumpkin trying to swing it around the outside with Bradley.
Lumpkin sitting in third. He peeked that nose there on the outside of Dittmer. A little bit late, but he's going to go for the move. Lumpkin outside, Dittmer inside as they go back into 1. Trying to use that outside line. Lumpkin trying to take that slingshot. Will he do it? Yes, he will. Put Justin Lumpkin into second.
Nailed it down right there. The 87 of Justin Lumpkin is flying today.
Lumpkin takes over second. Keith Bradley still in the lead, trying to run away with it in that 18. 14 laps to go now as they cross the stripe here in stage number 1.
So we're looking at our track map. You see 18th, 20th, and 19th place cars of Truxell, Cinnamon, and Tucker. They have dropped out the back of the pace, and they're just crossing the front straight right now. That just shows you the amount of damage that all 3 of those drivers received in that opening incident.
Brett Tucker is the only one of those damaged playoff drivers from the first wreck that is not 1 lap down. He is currently still on the lead lap. Cinnamon, Truxell, and then Lance Miller, who's currently running in 21st, still on the racetrack, is 12 laps down, with Joey Duquette and Robert Richards still in the pits, 16 and 20 laps down, respectively. But the playoff picture is really starting to come into view as Tucker really needs some good luck if he gets back up here to the front, and then Cinnamon and Truxell need to not only get their laps back. Cinnamon's only 1 down. Truxell's 5 laps down. And here goes Lumpkin to the inside of Keith Bradley. Will he be able to make the move stick? We haven't seen many moves stick on the inside line, and Keith Bradley's going to pinch him down there.
Bradley getting the elbows out, forcing Lumpkin to stay down low. Gets a great exit off of turn 2 and stays in the lead. And as they continue to race, you got to start thinking stage points. Only the top 10 score points in these stages. And with the top drivers not going to be scoring points, these playoffs are anyone's game.
Keith Bradley keeps the lead. Lumpkin second. Dittmer is currently in third. And here comes Taylor Peacock. Where did he come from? He's up to 4th in the 81.
Mr. Straight Cash Money, Taylor Peacock sits in 4th. Lumpkin gets into the wall ahead of him, showering them in sparks. But Taylor Peacock, Money Man, sits in 4th. He's up 11 spots from where he started. Another driver that's up 11 spots and just entering the stage points, Jason Higginbotham in that 56.
Higginbotham, another one of those drivers that are in the playoffs, currently in second. He does not have that much of a gap in between him and the cutoff line, about 10 points between him and the 4th place cutoff line for the bubble. He's going to need a good points day, and right now he's starting to climb his way up there as he is in 10th. He started all the way down in 21st. Not a good day, not a good qualifying effort from Jason Higginbotham, but a great race effort right now as he is up in 10th. Back up to the battle for the lead. Bradley now on the inside. Lumpkin going to try and use the outside to his advantage to get the lead, and he is still side by side with the 18.
Well, actually, Higginbotham didn't even qualify as Lumpkin swings it on to the outside, and they're going to go side by side with each other. Lumpkin going way up the track, Bradley standing way down low, and Bradley now using that inside line.
Can they make it stick is the question. Lumpkin using the outside. This is where we've seen the majority of the passes for the lead. He might have been a little too far up, but it looks like he was. He's not going to get the momentum he needed.
Here comes Dittmer. He's going to start helping Lumpkin as they race towards lap 35. That ends stage number 1. And Lumpkin, once again, working on that outside of Bradley. Just a few more laps to go as they try to end stage number 1 and earn a lot of points. All top 3 of these drivers are in the playoffs.
Lumpkin still trying to make that outside line work, but I think those tires are starting to wear too much. Here he goes. He's going to have a slingshot coming off of turn 2. Will he be able to complete the pass? He's got a lap car ahead of him.
He does, and he's got it. Lumpkin takes the lead.
Now Dittmer going to try and make an outside pass on Keith Bradley for second. And here comes Taylor Peacock. He's going to try and be on the back bumper of Dittmer.
Taylor Peacock was in the playoffs originally, but he was cut, trying to show them that, hey, I know I'm a playoff driver. I believe I'm a playoff driver. I still am a playoff driver, and here's why. And he's getting the elbows out, getting all over the back of the 4 of Tyler Dittmer.
24 will go down to the inside. That's Lance Miller. He's going to let the field by.
Oh, Keith Bradley getting
it easy for
very close with them. 5 laps remain in stage 1. Bradley all the way down to the grass.
Still side by side for the lead. Bradley trying to make a move happen. Lumpkin outside. Bradley trying to resume the lead, and he is going to clear him. He's going to try and close the door. The slide job from Keith Bradley, but the crossover from Lumpkin.
10th place and 8th place battling it for the lead in the playoffs. Bradley and Lumpkin, both these drivers in need of winning this race and getting as much points as possible to advance to the championship 4 after that early incident of the playoff leaders. Bradley leads it just by a nose on the outside. Lumpkin holding down to the inside.
Now Bradley trying to use the outside line as Lumpkin made that crossover move to go down to the inside. Bradley is going to try and get him clear, and I think he's going to be there. Yes, he will. Put Bradley back up to the lead. But we know this battle is not over as Lumpkin going to try and go for it again. Lap car up ahead. That's Chris Cinnamon. He's going to go 2 laps down.
Chris Cinnamon currently in 19, 2 laps down. Another playoff driver, and it's just cementing that he's not going to be scoring stage points. And these stage points, they aren't going to be a lot, but they sure do add up.
They definitely changed the nature of the points.
Caution is out. Stage ends here. The stage ends here as caution comes out. And
Stephen Gregory.
Oh no. Stephen Gregory.
Oh, Stephen Thomas was involved too.
Stephen Thomas and Gregory, here it is, heading into turns 1. Gregory on the outside, Thomas onto the inside. Thomas and Gregory just staying down low. Thomas up there. Ben Ganoyski getting it. Oh, and Thomas and Gregory getting into each other. And it's a big hit by Stephen Gregory into the wall.
Well, the only good thing there that happened is Stephen Thomas, of course, playoff driver, on that cutoff line. He definitely did not get as much damage as Stephen Gregory or anybody else involved in that wreck. So he will be still fairly fast, but
so our point scores are Bradley, Lumpkin, Dittmer, Peacock, Castleberry, Scruggs, Adams, Higginbotham, Thomas, and Ganoyski are top 10 as they enter the pit lane. And finishing out this stage. Now the stage ends when that caution came out within 5 laps. That was from Michael McKinnon earlier in the season after a lot of confusion after a Dega incident. But Dustin Scruggs enters the pit box, and after a crazy stage 1, I can tell you it's going to be a wild, wild race here in Vegas. You're here watching Racecraft TV for round 3 of the Snead Competition Design Series playoffs. We'll be right back after these messages. This Racecraft TV stream is brought to you by Artesian Builds. Artesian builds high-quality custom PCs made to order for a low price. Contact Artesian Builds today to get started on your own custom PC as low as $64 a month. All Artesian builds are made live on stream. You can watch your builds and talk to the builders live at twitch.tv/Artesian Builds. For more information about Artesian Builds, check the link in the description.
At McConey Setup Shop, we offer custom-built setups for any asphalt oval car. Prices starting at just $5. Weekly setups available for all Legends, late models, modifieds, and NASCAR trucks, Xfinity, and Cup cars. Do you need one-on-one driver coaching? We've got you covered. Visit www.McConeySetupShop.com and find yourself in Victory Lane. McConey Setup Shop, handling all your setup needs so you don't have to.
Welcome back to Racecraft TV. We're back here live here in Vegas, and Taylor Peacock leads the field. After coming out of the pits, up 14 spots, the Money Man leading the field, but it is Dustin Scruggs as well jumping up into second place. After those pit stops, after stage one, Rhett Tucker returns back to pit lane, and it's just not going to be a positive day for him. But he currently sits as 17th after that last incident. So I feel like he's just going to be sitting as far as he can, as Mark Truxell sits at the front of the field waiting to get his lap back.
Yeah, I was going to mention he's going to be taking a wave around here. So he did not come down pit road. All the leaders did. He saw an opportunity to go from 5 to 4 laps down, and that's exactly what he is going to do. Once the field starts to double up, he'll be waved right around the pace car, and he'll start at the tail end of the field.
Yeah, I don't know where Mark is thinking of this. That he's got two. He went to the pits on lap 2, so I feel like he's just seeing his own race, trying to get as far up as he can. Might think that there's going to be a caution on this restart.
Taylor Peacock will start on the pole. Scruggs in second, then Castleberry, Lumpkin, Bradley rounding out your top 5. Higginbotham, Ganoinski, Dittmer, Osment, and McKinnon will be your top 10 when we go back to racing. A lot of playoff drivers up there, a lot of non-playoff drivers up there also trying to spoil the party. But we know Scruggs is fast. He was fast at the beginning of the run. He qualified on the pole. So Scruggs has a fast race truck. He just needs to keep those tires under temperature, and then he can be fast over a run, because we really saw Keith Bradley and Justin Lumpkin come alive in the last half of that race, in the last half of stage 1.
Yeah, you gotta keep these tires alive for these 35 laps. Lights are all on the pace car, and let's get ready to start stage number 2. Taylor Peacock has control of the field, and he's gonna tell us when we're going green, green, green.
Pace car is down. Peacock in control of the field. He's going to reach that restart box, and away we go. We're back underway. Stage 2 from Vegas.
Straight Cash Money leads this race here in, well, Vegas, the place where you would honestly expect Straight Cash Money to be. And it's a very clean start by everybody, immediately going into a single file line.
Another 35-lap stage, so the stage will end on lap 70, or after lap 70, I should say. A little bit of a longer stage than we're used to, because that caution came out with 2 laps to go still left in the stage. So a little bit of a longer stage 2, as Scruggs is looking for the lead on the inside.
Scruggs is finding a different line, trying to catch up to Taylor Peacock. The non-playoff driver leading this race can cause any sorts of havoc behind it. Dustin Scruggs, the farthest playoff driver, but we saw him fall down the field after poorly managing his tires, and then everyone just passed him up right there. We're looking at Justin Lumpkin on the outside, and Bradley, they're going back to what they were already doing, side by side.
Bradley and Lumpkin now not fighting for the lead, fighting for 4th.
Bradley's got that inside line, but Lump got a little bit held up by the 21 of Castleberry. Lumpkin swings it around the outside.
This top 5 is so close together. Here comes Higginbotham in the 56. He's getting passed right now by Tyler Dittmer. And Ben Ganoinski going to take that spot as well. And back up to the front. Here comes Castleberry. He's now battling with Lumpkin as he's trying to make something happen on the outside.
Lumpkin knows that outside line has been rubbered in, and the more you run on that outside line, the less that your tires are going to be screaming for help at the end of these 35 laps. And Lumpkin has the grip. He's now beside Scruggs.
Look at Lumpkin. He's beside Peacock. He's going for the lead on the outside.
Justin Lumpkin is in the lead. He was in 4th at the start of this lap, as they're going to go 3 wide behind them.
Scruggs falling back now. Here comes Bradley to the inside, looking for 4th. Now on the outside, that's Clinton Castleberry looking for 2nd away from Peacock. Bradley going to make contact with Scruggs.
And Keith Bradley going to take it 3 wide, going all the way to the inside into turn 3. Taylor Peacock not giving him any room. Scruggs going to swing around the outside, so thank you very much for that. Scruggs up into 3rd.
What a great job from Bradley to hold it on the inside. He made that pass work on Peacock, as now Dittmer goes to the inside of Peacock. Bradley going to try and close the door on Dittmer. He will. Zach Adams also going to take that spot as he now goes to the inside of Dittmer.
Tyler Dittmer is eyes and ears all over the road, going for the lead. Quentin Castleberry dives down low on Lumpkin.
Will Castleberry be able to make it stick on the inside? We haven't seen many people be able to do it tonight. He will have the lead at the line, but will he be able to keep it? Here comes Scruggs now fighting.
He'll have the speed coming off of turn 4 and onto the straight, but that outside line just has the speed on the back stretch and just has the better speed mid-corner, as the banking here doesn't work very well with keeping the speed going throughout. But I feel like that these two drivers are going to go toe-to-toe and fist-to-fist here and going to do some straight-up 2x2 boxing. And here comes Bradley on Scruggs.
Lumpkin working the outside line like he did a couple laps ago to get by from 4th to 1st. He's still trying to use it and trying to get grip up there so he can continue to use it as the track continues to change, as we go further into twilight in the sim time. Castleberry doing a great job of holding on the inside, just not enough to beat that momentum that Lumpkin has on the outside line.
Justin Lumpkin leads another lap. Castleberry trying to show something for Rhett Tucker Racing, since Rhett Tucker is not in this race. He's still out there on track. He's actually at the back of this pack, back of the secondary pack, but he wants to show something for his boss. And he's got Dustin Scruggs, his teammate behind him, who's also in the playoffs. As, Bradley came across the nose of Castleberry.
Now Bradley takes over P2. We're back to the Lumpkin versus Bradley fight that we were watching earlier. Castleberry going to go up the track. Maybe a little bit of contact with Dittmer, but the 4 is going to hold it on the outside.
Tyler Dittmer, Castleberry side by side. They also got Adams and Scruggs side by side. Castleberry getting high mid-corner. Dittmer is clear.
Everybody saying that was a little bit scary coming through turns 3 and 4 there from this fight. As Scruggs goes back down to the inside of the 71, they're going to pass Stephen Gregory, who is now going 1 lap down. He is not racing these lead drivers. And that battle between Scruggs and Adams is still going on, as now Clinton Castleberry continues to fall down the order.
Castleberry needs to find his groove real quick. Stay on that outside line. Save those tires as they enter lap 49.
Lumpkin now still clear of Bradley. He's still running that outside line too, and you can see other trucks starting to run up there with him. Kind of monkey see, monkey do. Wherever that grip is, wherever the fast lane is, that's where you're going to see the majority of these drivers running. And Lumpkin is up there, top of the second groove. And these other drivers starting to experiment up there, not just for making passes, but for running single file.
Single file, and here we go. I feel like in the next 10 laps is going to be a lot less chaotic up at front. All these drivers will be more focused on their tires than going for position. and going for a late stage strategy and going for those stage points, then immediately going for the lead. And as soon as I say that, Bradley gets a big run on Lumpkin.
Bradley going to the inside. Lumpkin still running the outside. That inside line is just not there. It's not going to be enough. As now here comes Dittmer to the inside. He's going to go to the inside of Bradley for second.
That inside line has a bad exit. Come on to the back straight, but that inside line might work for Dittmer. Coming onto the front straight. Keith Bradley going up high, getting forced out there. They're both going to go to the tri-oval. Bradley cuts across the nose of Dittmer. Dittmer getting passed by Castleberry around the outside.
Still side by side for third. That's Dittmer and Castleberry going battling into the corner. Oh, here comes Dustin Scruggs on the outside. He's going to be battling the 71 of Zach Adams.
Right on board of Scruggs. Just a lap car on the inside of the track. Let's stay on board of Scruggs. We can see all at front. Bradley and Lumpkin swapping spots over the track. Lumpkin using that last car as a pick, and he's going to be forced to that middle line of the track.
Everybody now single file up front. Starting to log laps as they come across the line, this time by 17 to go here in stage 2. You know, all these playoff drivers up here in the top 10 looking for points.
Keith Bradley has some nose damage. The front right of Keith Bradley's car is a bit damaged. I was looking back from Justin Lumpkin's car, and it has a little small dent right there on the hood.
Definitely doesn't seem to be affecting him too much right now.
Actually, the right side of his car. Look at the side, back right of it. It's a little bit kinked in right there. But it's, yeah, as you're saying, it's not affecting him. But I feel like the only way it would be affecting him is if he gets into the straight, he might just be a bit slow in open draft.
He is getting pushed from behind a lot from Castleberry, and he has a tow from Lumpkin up ahead. So definitely no issue with the draft there. Possibly he might be getting some more dirty air going off of it because of the spoiler in the back. The spoiler is slightly kicked up also in the back, sort of in the back right corner.
Yeah, you are exactly right. The entire right side of his car looked like it pancaked the wall. And oh no! Speaking of pancaking the wall! Big hit up front. Justin Lumpkin also involved. And Tyler Dittmer takes the lead. They're going to go 3 wide into turn 4. Taylor Peacock, Lumpkin, Castleberry, Scruggs, Zach Adams also in there as well. My goodness.
And no caution too.
And here is that incident. Justin Lumpkin and Bradley just get into each other. Castleberry got into, oh my goodness. And now Lumpkin is falling through the field after receiving massive damage. And it's Dittmer and Peacock. Can this race get any more crazy? Higginbotham's up into 4th.
Man, what a fight back from Higginbotham right now. Can he keep it alive is the question.
For somebody who didn't qualify, was involved in that opening incident, Jason Higginbotham, currently 2nd in the championship standings. I feel like he's going to be securing top honors here today. At least taking the top step of the playoff points. I feel like he wants to lock himself in there because you can just see on how much the luck can run out. But Tyler Dittmer, ooh, he's in the hot seat right now.
Now here comes the fight for the lead as Peacock is right on the back bumper of Dittmer. He made it look to the inside, trying to use the apron, did not go for it. 16 to go here in the stage. Oh, sorry, actually 11 to go here in the stage.
This isn't Atlanta. We're going to make that mistake again. But it's Dittmer, Peacock, Scruggs, Higginbotham, your top four in that little pack of four up there. 10 laps to go this time by in stage number 2. And Dittmer wants all those stage points. He needs to get out of 8th place in the playoffs.
Man, look at this top four. They've all compressed together so closely. Here comes Peacock for the lead.
Straight cash money trying to cause a little mayhem up here. It's just going to be a show. Not much there. And here comes Scruggs. Scruggs counting its chances. Both him and Dittmer definitely looking for a good result here. Higginbotham he's already in that golden area where he needs to be locked in for the playoffs if it ends here today. So I feel like he's just going to be sitting in 4th place and not really challenging for anything until until time comes for him to make his move. That time being the end of the race. Peacock getting very loose off the exit. Here comes Scruggs down low.
Dustin Scruggs trying to make that move happen, but it's just not going to stick on the inside, I don't think.
As he sticks it off the inside.
To wear.
Later on in this run, the lower line gets faster than the higher line. I'm not sure how that happens, but I think it's more of a grading issue where the tires, they get so worn out that the bottom line works in their favor. So it goes from bottom line to top line, then back to bottom line in one stint. Here comes Peacock on Scruggs. And if my theory stands corrected, Peacock should have the better run off this exit.
The stage continuing to wind down. 6 laps to go. Stephen Gregory will go another lap down as Dittmer pulls away here at the end of the stage. Scruggs now back in 2nd. Peacock 3rd. Higginbotham 4th. Zach Adams round out your top 5. And Stephen Thomas, who was involved in an earlier incident with Stephen Gregory at the end of stage 1, currently sitting in 6th. A good rebound from him as he got a tiny bit of damage from that incident.
Yeah, he's had damage from lap 1. More minor than the other drivers, but Stephen Thomas and Michael McKinnon, both of them playoff drivers. McKinnon makes a move on Thomas, looking for some valuable stage points.
Back into turn 3 as Dittmer leads. 4 to go in the stage at the line. And this is when it's crunch time. How many points do you need in the playoffs? And right now, the playoff drivers up front, Dittmer is one of them. Same thing with Scruggs. Same thing with Higginbotham. Thomas is another one. McKinnon, Lumpkin. And those are the playoff drivers up here at the front. They all want these stage points. What are they willing to do to go further up in the positions as here comes Higginbotham making a pass on Peacock.
Jason Higginbotham up into 3rd. The top 3 all playoff drivers as the stage end is coming closer.
3 to go in this stage. Now Higginbotham going to set his sights on Scruggs. Does he have enough to pass him?
We're getting past Cinnamon. Cinnamon going up high, Dittmer going down low. Jason Higginbotham trying to chase down Scruggs. 2 to go this time by for the end of stage 2.
Thinking about them closing that gap in between him and Scruggs, but with Cinnamon on the outside, he can't go up there to make a pass. Will he be able to go low? He's going to look for it.
If one lane is closed, one opens up. Scruggs defends down low, and here comes Higginbotham down onto the apron. Higginbotham and Scruggs going to go side by side. Green and white flag are in the air. Stage number 2, 1 lap to go.
Will you be able to get by Scruggs? It doesn't look like he's going to go for it. Not close enough going into turn 3. So as they go through turn 3, Bradley up top. He's going to go 1 lap down. The heartbreak we know that he's feeling right now. Will he be able to rally back in stage 3? Because winning stage 2 is going to be Tyler Dittmer in the 4.
Dittmer takes the win in stage number 2, followed by Scruggs, Higginbotham, Adams, Peacock, McKinnon, Thomas, Lumpkin, Bullock, Ganoyski. Thomas passed McKinnon after the caution came out, and they just swapped back. What a crazy, crazy stage number 2. Stage number 3 is coming up to y'all very soon, but big congrats to Tyler Dittmer on winning that wild stage. You're here watching the Snead Competition Design Truck Series, round 3 of the playoffs, the first round of 10. Here on Racecraft TV, we'll be right back after these messages. This Racecraft TV stream is brought to you by Artesian Builds. Artesian builds high-quality custom PCs made to order for a low price. Contact Artesian Builds today to get started on your own custom PC as low as $64 a month. All Artesian builds are made live on stream. You can watch your builds and talk to the builders live at twitch.tv/Artesian Builds. For more information about Artesian Builds, check the link in the description.
Let's face it, to build a new website or redesign your existing site, you have 2 options. You can start by learning HTML, CSS, JavaScript, SEO, SQL, CMS, well, you get the idea. Or you can be smarter and look for someone who is a professional in web design like Snead Competition Design. We are experienced in building quality websites for our clients. We always start with strategy and planning to build a clear vision about what you need. Your website will then be passed on to the design and development phase, where we will ensure that you get a fully responsive design that is easy to use regardless of any device using the latest tools in web development. Contact us today, and let's talk about accelerating your business to the next level by creating a complete online solution.
At Makoni Setup Shop, we offer custom-built setups for any asphalt oval car. Prices starting at just $5. Weekly setups available for all Legends, late models, modifieds, and NASCAR trucks, Xfinity, and Cup cars. Do you need one-on-one driver coaching? We've got you covered. Visit www.MakoniSetupShop.com and find yourself in Victory Lane. Makoni Setup Shop, handling all your setup needs so you don't have to.
Welcome back to Racecraft TV. We are back here live at Vegas, and after these pit stops, Dustin Scruggs is in the lead, followed by Higginbotham, Peacock, McKinnon. Our stage 2 winner of Tyler Dittmer sits in 5th, followed by Adams, Thomas, Bullock, Osment, and Rhett Tucker has got his way back into 10th place.
If we know Rhett Tucker good enough, we know that he is not going to stop fighting until that checkered flag waves, and he has a good chance at locking himself into the final 4 now if he can get a win here. But right now, he's got to beat Dustin Scruggs in the 11.
His car is so beat up, it makes a junkyard car look like a Lamborghini. Just look at the back end of that thing.
If he can fight up there at the front, he has a chance at it. We'll have to see. Now that he's in a pack of cars, he's starting in 10th. Or restarting in 10th, I should say. We'll be able to see how he does in the pack, but it's going to be very interesting to see what exactly happens with that truck when he's in a pack of cars racing at full speed.
I feel like we're going to see the truck's power because he hasn't been able to stay within a pack on the restarts. And I feel like he's going to get bogged down coming off onto the throttle just a little bit because he does have some engine damage after that massive hit he had at the start of this race. Dustin Scruggs and Higginbotham are started up front, and Jason Higginbotham is exactly where he wants to be.
Getting ready to go back to racing. Field back on the front straightaway. They are going to take that 1 to go signal this time. And we will be going green with 59 laps to go.
64.
Are you
64
sure about that?
laps is the advertised ending stage length, but when they all get back to green, they'll be starting on 75. So get up, okay.
I was correct, is what you're saying.
Yes, you're right.
I'll take it.
All right. And a banger of a race so far. Let's see if let's see if this race ends on a high or goes up in smoke. Who's gonna be rolling snake guys and who's gonna be rolling Devil's 12s? It's here in Vegas where the odds are always changing. Who has the lucky dice hung over the mirror? We're gonna find out as the lights are out on the pace car as they go through turns 3 and 4. Stage number 3 is about to start. The green flag is about to come into the air. Dustin Scruggs is in charge of the roulette table, and that's the last gambling reference I'm gonna make as they're gonna go green, green, green here in Vegas.
Green flag, green flag.
Now we've seen a relatively caution-free night as far as all things are considered, but will we see more cautions here in this final stage? Because if not, they're going to have to make a green flag stop, and then comes the strategy. Will we see undercuts? Will we see overcuts? They're racing to the back straightaway for the first time. Scruggs still leading the way as Peacock sits a couple of truck lengths back.
Taylor Peacock had a great run, jumped ahead of Higginbotham as Higginbotham tried to defend, immediately tried cutting off of Peacock, but Peacock just had the speed going through turns 1 and 2, got in front of him as they race through 3 and 4 and into the trivals. Scruggs, Peacock, Higginbotham, McKinnon, Dittmer, your top 5.
Jason Higginbotham up 18 spots from where he originally started, and he is currently running in 3rd.
Yeah, Higginbotham didn't put in a qualifying lap. This was a no qualifying run by Higginbotham, and he's played it perfectly. McKinnon and Dittmer are going side by side for 4th place. And immediately,
look at the battles behind for 4th. Sorry to cut you off there, but I mean they're 2x2 for 2 rows.
I was talking with them earlier about this race, and hey, every point counts, and it doesn't matter if it's still in the lead. The top 10 is the best place to be. Stephen Thomas on the outside of McKinnon. Zach Adams also in there. He sits in 7th. Higginbotham, Peacock, side by side. Dittmer's got a good run. He's in 4th.
Oh, so close together. That's Dittmer going to the inside of Peacock. Can he make it stick? He's going to go back into 4th.
Oh, look at Adams on Thomas. Adams got a great dive into 3. Zach Adams jumps up into 5th place in that Dirty Mo Media car.
Two playoff drivers, 1 and 2 right now. Will Higginbotham make a move earlier? Will he try and make it later on in the run?
My money's on later. He knows he has to make it to the pit stop cycle, and then that's where he's going to make his move and hopefully have a gap coming out of the pits to use his feet on track, but Higginbotham, well, I'm not a racing driver, and oh, there's a little bit of an incident. Scruggs and Peacock get into each other. Higginbotham's into the lead.
That is what Jason Higginbotham needed. Can he run away with it now?
We have
seen over the run, Scruggs has gotten slower.
Yeah, Scruggs has been struggling after at least 14 laps on track. His tires just hit that cliff, and Higginbotham knows it. We started on lap 75, and Scruggs falls back deeply. Here comes Peacock down low. Here comes Dittmer down low. Peacock into second place. Dittmer battling for third. Dittmer secures it. And so does Adams.
Oh my, Dittmer barely gonna clear Zach Adams for third. He shut the door and he shut it very quickly. Now the playoff drivers are split into 1 and 5th up here at the front. Peacock, Dittmer, Adams. Actually, Dittmer is a playoff driver, but Peacock and Adams are not. And they're trying to run up here in the top 5.
Zach Adams and Taylor Peacock, both of them being the wild cards here today. And wouldn't it be something if a non-playoff driver wins this race and completely turns the tables on all the drivers? And I can tell you, if that happens, next week is going to be insane. Here comes Dittmer on Peacock, trying to make that move into second place, make a move on Higginbotham, but they start fighting back there. Higginbotham is going to get a big run and stay in the lead. And here comes Adams on the outside.
Peacock is running so close to the back bumper of Higginbotham. As Adams goes by Dittmer for third. Dittmer going to fall now to fourth. And Scruggs is now all over his back bumper.
Dustin Scruggs got out of that little rut that he was in, but as we hit 10 laps past when they went green, that's where we see Scruggs start struggling.
Will Higginbotham have that same tire fall off that we've been seeing from Scruggs as Adams goes to the inside of Peacock?
I don't think so.
He's gonna take over
Higginbotham's been
second.
getting faster and faster, and he's actually pulling out a gap since the battle for second is still going on. And the more they battle, the more it's going to allow Higginbotham to pull away. And if he gets out of that draft in dirty air, oh my goodness. This would be a grand slam for Jason Higginbotham. And probably the most wild experience since he did a set of qualifying lap. And now Dittmer and Peacock going side by side for third.
That side-by-side battle for third is definitely starting to heat up as Dittmer trying to go to the inside of Peacock. Dittmer, another one of those playoff drivers that needs a win if he wants to lock himself into the Final Four. Stephen Thomas has also rebounded really well in the 23. He's now currently running in 6th.
Yeah, Stephen Thomas got a lot of nose damage on that car, but he is running a good race, sits in 6th place. Right behind Dustin Scruggs, and Davis doesn't seem to be affecting him that much, but he is playing a very rebounded race. Scruggs ahead of him, looking on to the outside of Dittmer, and I feel like Steven's best guess is just to sit behind one driver and let them pull him through the field. Scruggs stays high as Dittmer defends down low.
Now here comes Dustin Scruggs to the inside. Dittmer, another one of those trucks falling back on the outside line. If you don't run that outside line really particularly well, you're going to be falling back, but he got great momentum coming off of 4.
Scruggs and Dittmer almost got into each other. Scruggs had a check up. You saw him just lose a lot of speed through the tri-oval. That's because Dittmer came down in front of him. He didn't want to make any contact.
Stephen Gregory going to go another lap down as Higginbotham washed up the track going through turn 4. Zach Adams starting to close that gap. Now about a truck length and a half.
Adams is with him. He just needs to do everything right to stay with him. But I feel like both these guys need to continue racing and not worry about each other in position, not fight each other. Adams goes for the lead, and if I was Higginbotham, I would let him through. And that's what he does right here. He's going to race his own race and focus on making that gap to the rest of the playoff drivers even bigger as Peacock and Dittmer are fighting behind him.
Time winding down here in this race. 43 laps to go. And in retrospect for the entire race, that is time running out, especially if we're expecting another caution and we might see green flag stops. If you want track position, you're going to have to find it now.
If you want war, we got it. Because these playoff drivers are going to war. Dittmer, Scruggs, Thomas, McKinnon, 4 of them, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th in the race right now. And I can tell you, they are fuming, and they want those points. Dittmer goes low on Peacock. And he goes up the track, almost gets into each other, and gets in front of Scruggs. Scruggs had to check up, and Thomas now looks onto the outside of Dustin. And it's little small moments like that that are creating these gaps up front. We look at the track map right now. The drivers in yellow are the playoff drivers. You can see Rhett Tucker in a separate pack behind them. And everyone else stayed up front. We got a car going slow. Ben Ganoyski is heading into the pit lane.
Ganoyski's in pit lane. Does he have damage, or is he trying to go for a very, very big undercut?
I'm expecting the most undercut of undercuts. I can't see any damage on that all-black stealth Canadian car that he's running. And it is a undercut. Ganoyski going to be the first car on fresh tires. Zach Adams is in the lead ahead of Higginbotham. Taylor Peacock's caught up back. And there is Dittmer in 4th, followed by Scruggs and Thomas. And that is your leading 6-car pack.
Man, I just cannot understand that move from Ganoyski. That is a huge undercut, and just...
He's going to be on the freshest tires.
It's going to be a risk. It is a risk, to say the least.
I believe he could go 40 laps on fuel here. He's going to be on fresher tires. He's going to be making up a lot of time. He's probably ran this in practice and testing and knows that he could go 40 laps on new tires. And he's going to be flying. The more laps he does under green and the more laps they do on these old tires, the more advantage that Ganoyski is going to have for if they go into the pits later on. Ganoyski is going to have the bigger and bigger advantage for being on those newer tires. So in a sense, it works, but he is a lap down. If the caution comes out, he's going to be on the lead lap, but he's going to be on older tires. If it stays green, I say Ganoyski is going to be challenging for a very underdog lead because these drivers are going to be trying to catch him now.
The top 5, or top 6, I should say, starting to break away from the rest of the pack. Like we've seen pretty much all night, this top group has been enthralled in battles for track position with everybody else behind just kind of riding, and that's what we're seeing now. And there's a battle back here between Rhett Tucker and the 14 of Jonathan Munda. They're just now coming across the finish line. They're way back here in 10th and 11th.
Yeah, that's the battle for the very last point. And Tucker giving it his all, but that car is extremely damaged. Munda's car looks a little bit cleaner than Tucker's. And these guys are just running their own race, trying to keep it clean between each other. But up at front, these guys are going for all the marbles. And you know how I was talking about Ben Ganoisky? Last lap, 31-2-3. Last lap for Zach Adams, our leader, 32-3-8. He is a second a lap faster. And that second is going to start adding up over these laps that these guys stay on these older tires. 34 laps remain here in Vegas. Brendan Bullock heads into the pit lane.
So Bullock, another one to go for the undercut.
He does it at halfway, though. Halfway into stage 3, Bullock dives down.
Definitely expecting a lot more drivers around lap 110. Think about 110 to 115 is when we're going to see the majority of drivers come down pit road. But will that decision from Bullock influence any of the other strategies from those drivers up front?
Bullock was behind that main pack, so I don't think it's going to be affecting a lot of them. I feel like they're all going off each other. Zach Adams pulling out a gap from Higginbotham as they start feeling that their tires are starting to go. 32-5-2. Tyler Daniels heads into the pit lane. Last time by. Ben Ganoisky, 32-02, half a second faster. All the leaders stay out. Dustin Scruggs heads into the pit lane. He's one of the first big runners into there. First playoff driver into the pits. So now that we have a playoff driver in the pit lane, all the other playoff drivers are going to start talking to each other and start thinking to themselves, I want to cover off my rival. I don't know who's going to do what. So if I just try to cover him off, it'll be the best guess, but they're going to stay out and try to run this tank dry. Michael McKinnon and Justin Lumpkin heads into the pits.
Yeah, now here is when these leaders are going to really start. Rhett Tucker's in. Tucker is in.
Tucker's in. Osmat's in.
This is really when these drivers are going to start influencing each other.
Taylor Peacock onto the bottom of the track.
He's in. He's going to be coming in. He just said on the voice chat. Will anybody else follow him? Steven Thomas is going to follow.
Steven Thomas heading in. Jason Higginbotham pulls the fake on the ball. He dives down low. Tyler Dittmer, the last playoff driver to stay out. And he's behind Zach Adams. And Ben Ganoisky coming through the trial vault right now. First car on the newer tires. Currently sitting in 9th place. Adams and Dittmer, they're slowing up. Adams stays out. Dittmer stays out. Quentin Castleberry sits in 3rd. He hasn't gone into the pits. Keith Bradley hasn't gone into the pits yet as well. Taylor Peacock wins the race off pit road.
When will Adams come in? He's just now going onto the back straightaway.
And Ben Ganoisky, first car a lap down now. And here comes Adams. Adams into the pits.
Dittmer takes the lead.
Stays out.
So Dittmer takes the lead. Castleberry in 3rd and now in 2nd, provisional 2nd. Keith Bradley in provisional 3rd, and then it's Higginbotham, first car that has already come down pit road.
Ganoisky's the first car that's gone down pit road.
I mean, the first one on the racetrack. Oh, I did not see that updated timing with Ganoisky there.
JRT.
I was actually looking at the iRacing timing for that one.
Oh. iRacing. We got Castleberry, Keith Bradley, and Dittmer still have yet to gone into the pits. Ben Ganoisky sits in 5th place. Zach Adams just coming out of pit road. He's going to lose that spot to Ganoisky.
Got it.
Yep. Ganoisky, first car onto the newer tires. He's technically net leading this race, but he's got Taylor Peacock right behind him on brand spanking new tires. Ganoisky, 10-lap newer tires. Keith Bradley heads into the pit lane. Dittmer and Castleberry stay out on track.
They both need
Taylor
to come down soon.
On Ganoisky, Peacock takes the provisional lead.
So now Dittmer and Castleberry are the only two left on the racetrack. They're going for this overcut. How long are they willing to stay on the racetrack, and how long can they stay on the racetrack with the tires and fuel? Right now, they're trapping everybody a lap down, which if a caution
look
comes
at that
out,
move by Scruggs on the Higginbotham. Scruggs defending so hard by Higginbotham because they know that when they get back to green, they're going to be battling for second and third as Gnoisky hits that tire fall off. It was a little bit too early for Gnoisky, but he is in that fight. But this field is so spread out between Dittmer, Castleberry, and then the rest. Taylor Peacock has about a 6/10 lead ahead of Scruggs and Higginbotham. And then it's Brennan Bullock and Gnoisky behind.
now Dittmer and Castleberry staying on the racetrack is doing something very interesting. They're trapping pretty much the entire field a lap down.
If this goes into caution,
If we go into a caution, that is going to be the perfect scenario for Dittmer and Castleberry. But here comes Peacock to get his lap back.
yep, Taylor Peacock says, hey, buddy, you want some straight cash money? Round the outside. Peacock back onto the lead lap. And here comes Dustin Scruggs.
Now, will he come into pit road now? Because Dittmer has not pitted yet.
No, he's not. He's
gonna
going
come
up
in yet.
high.
He's staying out. He's relying on a caution. But now that Peacock got it back onto the lead lap, that won't matter.
It won't matter at all. If there's still a caution, he's going to be on the fresher tires. But if he runs out of fuel, this strategy of his has gone out the window because Tyler Dittmer is a playoff driver. He was going for the Grand Slam win, and all these drivers on newer tires on a restart will be much better than him. But if everyone comes into the pits with him, if there's a caution, as here comes Dittmer into the pit lane. The gamble didn't work out for him, and he's going to be, well, I feel like he's going to be coming back a lap down since the new leader of this race is going to be, Taylor Peacock, as Castleberry, I feel like, is going to be heading into the pits right now.
Nope.
As he stays out. Quentin Castleberry leads this race.
Wondering how long he's going to try and stay on the racetrack. He does have one lap fresher tires than Tyler Dittmer. One lap doesn't do too much in the grand scheme of tire wear.
Taylor Peacock takes second place. Justice Scruggs in third. And Higginbotham. We're watching our two playoff drivers battling out near the top of the field, trying to go for that lock-in. They're behind the net leader of Taylor Peacock as they're closing in on Castleberry.
Castleberry keeps his lead. He has not pitted yet.
That last lap for Castleberry, 33.19. Taylor Peacock charging in with a 31.29.
That goes to show just how long those tires have been on that 21 machine. When will he come down pit road? Because we're going to be coming to 20 to go at the line. Castleberry running out of time to get any sort of track position when he comes off of.
We got a car on the
pit
wall.
road.
There's a car in the wall, and we got it. It's Dustin Scruggs. Multi-car wreck. Dustin Scruggs involved. Chris Cinnamon involved. We got a massive crash. Lance Miller was the car in the wall as it all went down. He was giving place to Peacock, and then Cinnamon got into the back of him. He came down onto Dustin Scruggs, and he got into Higginbotham. Oh my goodness. Zach Adams also involved. Do you?
Oh my.
Do you know what this brings onto this race? Absolute chaos. Because, oh my goodness, Dustin Scruggs was in there. And they're all coming into the pit lane. Quentin Castleberry fought it all out. Quentin Castleberry leads him onto pit road, followed by Peacock, Higginbotham, Thomas, Bullock, Adams, Lumpkin, McKinnon, and Gnoisky. Tyler Dittmer stays out. He's going to try to outrun everybody on these tires, and I honestly don't blame him. He went in lap 112. It is lap 115. This could work for Tyler Dittmer. Rhett Tucker's out there as well. Who's going to be winning the race off of pit road, though? It is going to be Taylor Peacock winning the race off pit road. Here comes Stephen Thomas and Brandon Bullock right there. There's Stephen Thomas. Here comes Zach Adams, and there is Justin Lumpkin. Oh my goodness. Peacock has the freshest tires out of everybody now. Tyler Dittmer went in on lap 112. Tucker and Monda, they're staying out there. They went in on lap 103 and 104. We're going to see if they go into the pits right now. But oh my goodness, y'all are in for a show here on Racecraft TV. We'll be right back after these messages. This Racecraft TV stream is brought to you by Artesian Builds. Artesian builds high-quality custom PCs made to order for a low price. Contact Artesian Builds today to get started on your own custom PC as low as $64 a month. All Artesian builds are made live on stream. You can watch your builds and talk to the builders live at twitch.tv/Artesian Builds. For more information about Artesian Builds, check the link in the description.
Let's face it, to build a new website or redesign your existing site, you have two options. You can start by learning HTML, CSS, JavaScript, SEO, SQL, CMS, well, you get the idea. Or you can be smarter and look for someone who is a professional in web design like Snead Competition Design. We are experienced in building quality websites for our clients. We always start with strategy and planning to build a clear vision about what you need. Your website will then be passed on to the design and development phase, where we will ensure that you get a fully responsive design that is easy to use regardless of any device using the latest tools in web development. Contact us today, and let's talk about accelerating your business to the next level by creating a complete online solution.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Racecraft TV. Tyler Dittmer leads this race. Last to win in on lap 112. Rhett Tucker sits in second. He last went in on lap 103. Then the freshest tires in the field starts with Taylor Peacock, and then the rest as well. Tucker's going to have a lot to work with on this restart, but he's been battling a uphill battle ever since lap 2. So what do you think is going to happen on this restart, Josh?
I think we're going to see a lot of very close racing, but I think what we're especially going to see is that desperation from these drivers up front, because like we were talking about, Dittmer and Rhett Tucker did not pit. Peacock is the first one on fresh tires with everybody behind him. I'm expecting a lot of defending from those front two, because Dittmer, Tucker, then Higginbotham behind them. And you can go back to Stephen Thomas, Justin Lumpkin, Michael McKinnon. They're all in the playoffs. They're all in this top 10. They all have a chance at locking themselves into the championship on this final laps.
I think Peacock's going to take second before turn 1. Tucker has to be very cautious on these tires not to spin them up and cause a massive multi-car collision. But we're going to find out right now what happens. 17 laps to go. Does the older tires stay out for these next 17 laps, or does a new breed take the lead? Peacock leading that charge with Higginbotham right beside him. They're in turn 4. 17 laps remain here in Vegas. It's go time here for round 3 of the playoffs. And I can tell you, it's time to crack open a cold one and get ready for a show, because they're green here. And to end out this race, Dittmer leads it in. Peacock gets an amazing start. Peacock immediately into second. And here comes Higginbotham into third place.
Rhett Tucker already falls down to 4th. Here comes Brandon Bullock now to his outside. Rhett Tucker not going to get another win today.
Peacock
now,
on Dittmer.
Dittmer on the outside. Peacock inside. He's going to take the lead.
Dittmer trying to use that outside line to his advantage as much as he can, but the new tires on that bottom line is just so powerful. Peacock in the lead by a nose as they cross the line, and here comes Higginbotham right behind him as well. Brandon Bullock in there in 4th. And Tucker has fallen back. Taylor Peacock takes the lead of this race. But Dittmer around the outside gets back.
Higginbotham now trying to win this race. He needs a win to lock himself into the championship. Dittmer clears Peacock once again.
And oh no, Peacock and Higginbotham and Zach Adams get into the wall. Massive hit. No caution is out.
It's out.
And now it's out as Zach Adams came back onto the track and he's blown an engine. Tyler Dittmer still in the lead. Brendan Bullock right behind him. Stephen Thomas is in third. Higginbotham and Peacock. Massive hit for the Jason Higginbotham. He's in second in the championship now. He's got massive issues. There's a smoking engine here, and I think this is Higginbotham's race over. And Tyler Dittmer is still clear on those older tires. Now, with 13 to go, do you pit?
I wouldn't pit personally with the amount of laps that are left, but I feel like if you're one of those playoff drivers up front, like let's talk about Rhett Tugger. He's in fifth, 18 lap old tires. I think he can come in, grab 4 tires, and try and get up to the front. And I'd even say maybe Justin Lumpkin, it might be a good gamble for him. Michael McKinnon, get those 4 fresh tires, because right now they're both, if we go green here, they're going to need to fight already on the restart. Might as well grab those 4 fresh tires, have an advantage over everybody else, and drive your way up through the field.
Well, as they head into turn 4, we're expecting Rhett Tucker to go into the pit lane. And we're going to see if anyone else heads into pits. There's Taylor Peacock going into the pits to repair his car. Tucker's staying out. But there goes Higginbotham as well. And I feel like that those races are over. Ganoyski goes into pits as well as Keith Bradley. And both of them had a little bit of contact as well. You can see their front noses. I'm pretty sure they had a separate incident. So only cars that were involved in an incident head into the pits, as we'll be restarting with 10 laps to go. Tyler Dittmer, 3 lap older tires. Stephen Thomas on the newest tires, but he also has that front nose damage. Brandon Bullock on the newest tires. Cleanest car, I would say. I don't want to forget about Justin Lumpkin. Their top 4 are big runners. Rhett Tucker stayed out. He last went into the pits on lap 103. He's going to just try to hang in there as much as he can and try to stay within that top 10. And with Higginbotham out, I believe Tucker might stay in the lead of these points. No. He won't, because of the stage points went all over the place. I believe the playoff lead in points-wise will be changed. And if Dittmer wins, he will lock himself into the championship 4. And this will be insane because none of the top 4 look like that they can win this race from a odds standpoint currently. There's a chance that they can win and everyone blows up, but it's not favored right now. And the current favorite to win this race, who do you pick, Josh?
Right now, I gotta say Stephen Thomas in the 23. I mean, Dittmer can defend all he wants. He's still on those old tires, and Stephen Thomas is desperate for a win. We talk about all the time in real life racing, what are you willing to do for a championship? No different here in the virtual world.
The Powerhouse Motorsports driver of that 23 Toyota Tundra, he does have that nose damage. That nose is caked up and bent all over the place, but it hasn't been slowing him down a lot. I feel like Stephen Thomas does have a good run with him. My money, oh, this one's a tough one. My money, I'm going to have to say Tyler Dittmer. I feel like he knows what he's doing. We've seen him run up front all day. He's extending these tires as much as he can. He is on the older tires, yes, but it's just a fraction amount older. And over 10 laps, a fraction amount won't hit that fall off before they do, because they're all under caution. He's been nursing these tires as much as he can, and it's just by 3 laps, so it's not going to be a giant wall in front of him. I feel like Dittmer pulled off the right strategy here and will be winning this race. Other than that, Brandon Bullock, we've been leading him out of the conversation all this time. He's also in a great running. Well, it's time to find out, as I believe the lights are out on the pace car right now. Keith, Bradley, Taylor, Peacock, Cinnamon, and Higginbotham all went back into the pit lane to try to fix their cars as much as they can and try to get to the end of this race and not lose as much points as possible. But as they line up, Bullock, Dittmer, Thomas, Lumpkin, McKinnon, Tucker, Munda, Castleberry, Daniels, Osment is your top 10. And, ooh, the lights are out here in Vegas. And honestly, it should be because it is way late in the afternoon here.
Dittmer and Bullock will lead the field to the green flag. Brandon Bullock, not a playoff driver. First playoff driver is Dittmer, then Stephen Thomas also in the playoffs. Same thing with Lumpkin. Rhett Tucker in 5th, also a playoff driver. Same thing with McKinnon. That is your playoff drivers up here at the front, all now in the top 6 as we continue on to race. They'll be going back green, 9 laps to go.
9 laps remain. We see Peacock back there still with a smoking engine. He's just going to try to stay as much as he can. Pace car is off. Dittmer into the lead, and he's got control, and we're going back green, green, green in front of this packed house. Nobody's going to be sitting down here. Dittmer puts the pedal to the metal. Thomas gets a great restart as well. Gets ahead of Brandon Bullock immediately. Rhett Tucker also gets a great restart. He's going to try to force his way up into 3rd place onto the inside of Brandon Bullock. Those older tires of Rhett Tucker working wonders right now for him, as it doesn't seem like Brandon Bullock can get past Rhett Tucker, but Rhett Tucker on that speed, they're going to go 4 wide entering 3.
Everybody looking for that track position that they've wanted all race long. Dittmer trying to run away. Here comes Stephen Thomas in a second as Bullock goes side by side with Tucker for 3rd.
Stephen Thomas made that move on the restart. Bullock trying to find his way around using those newer tires on the outside line. Rhett Tucker getting a little bit loose, moving up to the track, almost gets it to the side of Justin Lumpkin. They're going to go side by side. Rhett Tucker just losing off the grip. Here goes Michael McKinnon going down low on Tucker. 3 wide entering 3 once more. And this is for the 5th place. And McKinnon just elbowing his way through there on Tucker. And then there's the 14 of Munda up there as well. And they almost get into each other. They're squeezing Tucker.
Here comes Rhett Tucker. Will he be able to fight his way back? He's running out of time as he's in the middle 3 wide. Now Bullock going to make a move on Dittmer for the lead.
Dittmer lost a little bit of speed, and Bullock made his way up down to the inside, and now Dittmer and Bullock going to go side by side. They also got Lumpkin back there as well. Brandon Bullock trying to throw an entire powder keg into the system of the playoff drivers, and he's going to try to make them all fight for points into the championship 4. But Lumpkin and Dittmer want to go for the championship. Justin Lumpkin, he's a playoff driver. He's going to try to lock himself in there. Stephen Thomas trying to lock himself in there. Tyler Dittmer trying to lock himself in there. They're all on the outside. Bullock's on to the inside. Dittmer and Lumpkin swinging around to the outside as they enter 3 and 4 with 5 laps to go here in Vegas.
What are these drivers willing to do for a shot at the championship? Lumpkin can see it right through his windshield. Bullock on the inside. He's not in the playoffs. He doesn't have to worry about any of that. He just can race for the win as they're going to go by Higginbotham, the lap car. Here comes Lumpkin to the inside.
Higginbotham put a pick on Bullock, and that's perfect for Lumpkin. Lumpkin sends it into 3. And Justin Lumpkin takes the lead of the race with 4 laps to go. Here the Snead Competition Design Truck Series. The round 3 is coming to the end. Dittmer trying to hold it on to the outside of Lumpkin now. They're going to go side by side heading into turn 1.
Can Lumpkin lock himself into the championship? He came in 8th in the points. He needed a win or at least a decent points day, but now he's trying to battle for the win, get himself locked in. Here comes the 14 of Jonathan Munda now into the picture.
Munda elbowing his way up there into 3rd place. Dittmer leads the race with 3 laps to go.
So Dittmer leads. Now that gap about 2 truck lengths in between him and Lumpkin. Can Lumpkin use the outside? We know he's been known for that all night tonight. Can he use it to his advantage now here for the win?
Lumpkin can use that outside. He can go for that inside line, though. I feel like the inside line is going to be the best chance that he can on a last lap pass as they go 2 to go. Now Lumpkin is setting himself up as the white flag is about to be prepped at the end of this lap. Dittmer, Lumpkin, Munda, Bullock, your top 4 as they race it through turn 2. Heading into turn 3, Lumpkin is prepping, Dittmer's defending, and here comes Munda looking down low. Lumpkin low up high. Dittmer defending up high, trying to elbow Lumpkin out of the way. Here comes Munda. White flag is in the air.
What is Lumpkin willing to do for the win? He can get himself locked into the championship right here as he goes into turn 1.
We ride on board. Tyler Dittmer looking back at Justin Lumpkin. Nose to tail, they're going. Lumpkin all up in the gearbox. Lumpkin's looking off to the outside as they head into 3 and 4 for one last time. Lumpkin trying to hold it on to the outside. Dittmer trying to hold it down to the inside. They're going to go nose to tail, but it's going to be Lumpkin diving down low. It's going to be Tyler Dittmer taking the win and locking himself into the championship for the 3-lap older tires. Making it work here. Holding it all the way out, hoping for a caution. That strategy didn't work, but it sure enough put him in the place where it needed to with that caution just coming out after he went into the pits, put himself into the exact position that he needed to defend himself and lock himself into the championship for. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner of this race, Tyler Dittmer, as he burns it down here in Vegas. Wow. What a race we saw as our winner is burning it down. Here is your race results. Tyler Dittmer takes the victory, followed by Justin Lumpkin, Brandon Bullock, Jonathan Munda, Stephen Thomas, Michael McKinnon, Clinton Castleberry, Scott Osmat, Tyler Daniels, Rhett Tucker comes home in 10th place, followed by Keith Bradley, Ben Ganoyski, Chris Cinnamon, Jason Higginball, Stephen Gregory, Taylor Peacock, Zach Adams, and Dustin Scruggs in 18th. Lance Miller, Cody Knott, Mark Truxell, Joey Ducetti, and Robert Richards at the end of the grid. But all eyes are on our winner. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Tyler Dittmer. He locked himself into the championship for. Ladies and gentlemen, Tyler, how you feeling?
Dude, I am relieved. I knew I had to come in today, have a great points race. I said it last week in the interview after the race, and I was like, hey, I got to come in here. I got to just go as hard as I can, get as many points as I can. Had a really good first stage, won the second stage. Chaos happened behind me, and was able to hold off Lumpkin there for the end. But,
it was all about stage 3, though. You went from 6th, and now you're sitting in 1st, and you got to lock over your name as you get ready for that finale of a race. Let's walk through stage 3. You stayed out forever on those tires. Were you just waiting for that caution to happen?
No, I made a mistake, actually. I wanted to come in the lap before Lumpkin or Peacock and everyone had caught me. I wanted to come in on that lap or a lap earlier, and I just zoned. I was just so focused on hitting my marks, I missed it. And but I got lucky. My crew chief was telling me, my father, who's my crew chief, was telling me, hey man, they're gonna wreck. They're gonna hit each other. They're on fresh tires. They're gonna hit each other. And it happened, and I was able to go out there, start first for the last 20 laps, and just able to hold on from there.
You had slightly older tires. Did that even play a moment in your mind as you were just driving it out there on the lead on these closing laps?
No, not really, actually. I only had one extra lap compared to everyone who pitted after that caution late. and no one else put it on that last caution except for the guys who were involved in the wreck. So I wasn't too worried about it. And also, I had the best long run car out there. I think I proved that in stage 2 and for most of stage 3. So I wasn't too worried, but it was a lot of fun battling with Lumpkin there. Yeah, just an awesome race.
Well, Tyler, you locked yourself into the championship. Before you go and celebrate your birth into the championship, for anyone you want to thank?
Yeah, I want to thank Lizardworks Racing, obviously, for setting everything up as they do always. My crew chief, my dad, keeping me calm, telling me what to do, just keep me relaxed during this final 20 laps, and all my friends who support me, and also Racecraft TV. You guys are doing an awesome job with the broadcast. I really appreciate it, and Snead Competition Design Truck Series for putting this entire series on.
All right, congrats, Tyler. Hope you have a amazing night. Congrats on the victory. As we go over to Josh, who is standing by with Justin.
Well, Justin Lumpkin, close, but not enough. 9/100ths of a second separated you and Dittmer at the end there. Before we get to that finish, obviously very close to locking yourself into the championship 4, I want to talk about earlier on in the race, because throughout stage 1 and stage 2, you proved to be one of the dominant trucks all night long. How fast is that number 87?
Man, we were really good. Sitting there battling Keith Bradley most of the night, and thought I was gonna be able to pull off stage 1 win, but Bradley got me by a little bit, and then was out front for most of stage 2 and just kind of ran out of talent, and kind of gave me a little bit of damage and ruined his night, and it was kind of a battle from there.
Now going to the end of the race, obviously that late race caution definitely threw a curveball at all of you drivers. You came down pit road, got some fresh tires, just not enough for Dittmer. Was it the dirty air that wasn't allowing you to get by, or what do you think you could have done different there after that last restart to catch the 4?
Honestly, I know I had a little bit of damage, but I was running just as fast as him. It was just great driving by Dittmer. I got to give him credit. I loved the high line, and he took my line away from me, and there wasn't nothing I could do.
Anyone else you would like to thank here on Racecraft TV after that second place here at Vegas?
Oh yeah, I want to thank you guys for putting on an awesome show. Mike and Brady for putting this on. Darren's Nail Gun Repair for sponsoring us. They're going to continue to be a partner. Zero X Designs and Team Dangerous, and I want to say hey to my teammates Casey Herring and Tony Smith. They couldn't be here tonight, but I know they were watching.
Thank you very much, Justin Lumpkin. Second place finish here in Las Vegas, and I believe Austin is going to stand by with your third place finisher, Brandon Bullock, in the 17.
Yeah, I am standing by with Brandon Bullock, who put on a great show here today, and it looked like he had the car to win this race, and he was battling it all in that final stages of the race. Brandon, how are you feeling? You were up 20 spots from where you qualified. Talk us through today. Brandon, this is Austin. Do you have a copy? I go for one more time. Brandon, do you have a copy? This is Austin. All right. Well, Brandon qualified in 20th and moved his way up into 3rd. He took the lead for moments at a time, trying to challenge Dittmer into there, and had a amazing battle for the end of the race, but he's just driving his heart out today. Got 3rd, though. Amazing performance by the 17 and that Pinnacle Fitness car. I'm pretty sure Brandon is thankful for all of his supporters out there and his sponsors. Josh, before we go, any closing words?
I mean, this is just going to be such a great fight in the championship. We know Dittmer's now locked into the Final 4. We got one more round to lock in more people, and it's going to be an intense race from Rhett Tucker and everybody else in the playoffs that had a bad night. They're going to be in a must-win situation going into the next round.
It certainly is. Round number 3 is in the books for the Snead Competition Design Truck Series. One more spot is available to lock in the Championship 4. Who's it gonna be? Thank you everyone for watching here in the Snead Competition Design Truck Series here on Racecraft TV. I've been joined by Josh Lee. I'm Austin Knight, and I hope y'all have a fantastic night. This Racecraft TV stream is brought to you by Artesian Builds. Artesian builds high-quality custom PCs made to order for a low price. Contact Artesian Builds today to get started on your own custom PC as low as $64 a month. All Artesian builds are made live on stream. You can watch your builds and talk to the builders live at twitch.tv/Artesian Builds. For more information about Artesian Builds, check the link in the description.